welcome into the offseason. I'm Cassie Carlson here at Hallis Hall as we just wrapped up mandatory minicamp, and I am joined this week by the Athletics' Adam Jahns. He is also the host of Hogue and Jahns, and 3 days of the Bears on the grass running through practice. What were your takeaways from 3 days of practice?
Details, a lot of details.
And inside the details.
Yes, inside the details, beyond the details, everything's about the details. They're yelling about the details. They're talking about the details. I think details, we've said about a dozen times already in this show. I think I've heard it 50 times this week. Ben Johnson's obsession about the details is taking hold of Hallis Hall. I think that's the story. Cole Kmet talked about it. Caleb Williams talked about it last week. It's really everything right now. He's obsessed with getting things right. If you get it wrong, he's going to correct you right away in the field. He's going to yell at you. He'll get on you. There may be some swear words in there, but I think it's good for the Bears right now.
How many years have you been covering the Bears? How many coaches have you seen?
Oh, how much time do we have? Since 2012, Lovie Smith's last year with the Bears.
Okay. Have you noticed a difference in the obsession with the details and the way they addressed it on the practice field, specifically with Ben Johnson?
I want to say the instantaneousness part. Is that even a word? How instantaneous it is.
They call it dead.
Dead, yes. Immediately as it happens, it's Cole Kmet during OTAs lined up and like a yard off inside the Walter Payton Center, and he's screaming at him, huddle back up, get it right. He wants to get him the ball out in the right flat. That is different. We've seen coaches do different things at different times here, going from Lovie Smith to Mark Trestman, Matt Nagy, John Fox. I think I got everybody in there. Thomas Brown counts too. So there's a lot of coaches. Some of them are sitting on couches right now. But there's been so many changes. But I can't remember a time where you saw a coach abruptly stop practice with a swear word or two, rehuddle the offense with a young quarterback to get it right. I don't think we've covered anything. I haven't covered anything like this before.
How do you think it translates to Caleb Williams? Because there was an interaction in a press conference where Ben Johnson was asked about a throw that Caleb Williams missed, and he said he was late on the throw, and then he was asked how did he respond when you told him about it. He was like, great, awesome. Like, how do you think that relationship is molding, if you were to guess?
Oh, he's going to be challenged. Now, Caleb Williams, he's on record saying that he wants to be coach started. Yes, yeah. You better be careful what you ask for. So we'll see exactly how hard he wants to be coached. I think this will be a great test for him because Ben Johnson is going to be on that case. Like, if you're just talking about that play specifically, that was a completion to Roschon Johnson in the left flat that went for a first down. But as that play is happening, you have your head coach standing 10, 12 yards behind you screaming, faster, faster. And he wasn't fast enough for his coach on that play. Maybe Roschon Johnson, if Caleb Williams is faster, that's a 20-yard gain instead of a 10, 12-yard gain and a first down. Still a positive play, but Ben Johnson thinks it could be better. We'll see how Caleb Williams responds to this because I think this is going to be a story throughout training camp. Fans are going to be here. You're going to be able to see Caleb Williams getting yelled at.
Yeah, I think that's always interesting to see. Like, I first noticed it with Eric Bieniemy. Like, he wasn't going to mince his words because the cameras were right in front of him. He's like, I'm going to be who I am. And I get the sense that Ben Johnson, like, nothing's going to falter how he coaches, whether it's fans out there, whether even if it's maybe Caleb Williams not loving the way he's being coached. Like, that is Ben Johnson's style. And that's kind of what the Bears signed up for when they hired him. Like, I don't think he's changing who he is to cater to that.
He shouldn't change. He shouldn't be afraid about the, when the questions come up about it, he shouldn't change because it's part of the conversation now. It's what got him here. If you talk to a lot of people in his background, he's always been that fiery person on the field, just very engaged, very competitive, very relentless in how he wants things done. Don't change. You've become the Bears head coach because of these traits, because you're so relentless and so detail-oriented during practice. This is what got you here.
From gathering things from different players about what DA's defense is going to be, Montez Sweat called it complex. What are you picking up on what we might see from this defensive unit?
Can we just start with the persona a little bit? Because Ben Johnson gets all the credit for the swear words. Dennis Allen's out there swearing a lot too.
In a visor.
Yes, in a visor. He's got his chest puffed out. Like, he's direct. He is correcting the details instantly. When mistakes are happening on the field. So that's good to see. He's fiery. He's energetic. He's in their faces, veteran players' faces for making mistakes. That's good to see. I think just overall, adding Dennis Allen takes so much off the plate of Ben Johnson, where you have this first-time head coach who's got to build an offense around a young quarterback with so many different weapons, with a brand new offensive line, with 5 new starters, really, if you want to sum it all up. So there's a lot for Ben Johnson to get used to in his job, apart from building the offense. Dennis Allen takes so much off his plate, just like Vic Fangio did for Matt Nagy in 2018. We saw how that worked out. Vic actually went on to become the head coach of the Broncos. So I don't know if Dennis Allen's going to get his third opportunity, but I think he's here to help Ben Johnson in so many ways, just beyond building that good defense. He could give him so much advice in how to run a team, be the front man in front of the team, how to handle the media, what not to do with your scheduling. Dennis Allen provides so many resources beyond just the defensive strategy, I think, for this team right now.
When it comes to the offensive line, everyone's still going to look at the left tackle position. Is Braxton Jones going to be healthy? And if he is he the starter come week 1? We see Ozzie Trappola, we see Karan Amagaji taking turns. And I like how Ben Johnson, pretty black and white, lays it out there. The best pass rush protector is going to win the job at left tackle. When you think about who they have available in all the different scenarios, what's your prediction for who wins that job?
Right now, since we haven't seen Braxton Jones, I want to say that maybe Ozzie Trappola might have the inside track on this, even though they're rotating every single day, him and Karan Amagaji. He's a second-round pick, and he was drafted by Ben Johnson. The others just weren't. That's a hard reality of the NFL. When you're a draft pick of a certain coaching staff, your standing's a bit different. But for me, I'm circling those 2 joint practices against the Dolphins and the Bills, right? They're coming to town. And then the first day of pads. Those are 3 big days for Ozzie Trappola. Can he handle Montez Sweat? Can he handle the best Bills pass rushers? Can he handle the best Dolphins pass rushers in one-on-one situations? Because that's what the Bears want to see. That's how the Bears are going to test them. And I think that's how the left tackle position, I think that's how that competition is going to unfold, how it's going to be determined.
All right. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers is back in the news.
I heard.
Because this just happened today. So he'll make his return to Soldier Field. What's your reaction to Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers? This is what we're going to end on.
I just feel let's use a Marvel reference with Thanos, right?
I'm not a Marvel person, so this is terrible to ask me.
Okay. Well,
other people will understand.
He's inevitable in a sense, because you knew he was going to be a storyline. You knew he was going to come back. He does his own thing, he marches to his own beat, all that stuff. But you know he was going to come back, and the only team left for him was the Steelers. So here he is. I'm not sure how good he really is, what his health is, how much he's really engaged in being that full-time quarterback. There's a lot that goes into it, and he's on the latter stages of his career. But sad but true, but he's still better than half the quarterbacks in the league, and that's why he's with the Steelers. As they move on from a former Bears quarterback to go to him.
Well, let's hope he doesn't come back to Soldier Field and do the whole I own Chicago thing once again and break Bears fans' hearts. Adam, Jahns, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Cassie.
All right, we have more coming up on the offseason. We continue our minicamp conversation with Lou right after the break.
Day 2 of mandatory minicamps, and no matter how hard it might have been raining in Lake Forest, Ben Johnson had his players on the practice field, not inside at the Walter Payton Center.
Yeah, we walk into Hallis Hall every day. There's a whiteboard in our cubicle area that we work in throughout the season, and it tells you who's talking at the podium, where they're practicing, and it said fields 1 and 2, in parentheses, weather permitting. And all of us reporters were like, well, weather is not permitting. We're going inside for sure. But Ben Johnson said, no, we're going to play in the rain. And wasn't too bad, but definitely slippery out there. And it's good to see them, get on the field early, brave the elements, and already start getting ready for the season. What we saw, I actually thought it was a much better day for the offense after some struggles day 1, and I called it Olamide Zaccheaus Day because it seems to be Caleb Williams' favorite receiver. They brought him in from Washington as a free agent in this past offseason, and he clearly already has a connection building with him, and I think that's a smaller guy with a lot of speed that we'll see how he fits into this offense, and that's what we learned from Ben Johnson. And talking to DJ Moore day 1 too, is they're still trying to figure out where each receiver is going to play. So no one's in a specific spot right now, although we saw DJ Moore in the slot a little bit more day 1. That's not set in stone. Right now it's all about Ben Johnson figuring out every person's strengths and then piecing together where they can line up. And I'm sure they'll move around a ton too, especially with Caleb Williams, who's trying to get the ball out faster. I thought he did a really good job today getting the ball out quick, as you had mentioned when we were walking in. Didn't have a lot of time. There was a lot of pressure from the defense. Montez Sweat had a sack. Gervon Dexter had a sack. And I thought the first drive in the 11-on-11 drill was pretty telling that Caleb Williams is getting the ball out faster. He had a check down to DeAndre Swift, multiple passes to DJ Moore, and then Zaccheaus had that touchdown at the end. So I thought it was pretty methodical in that sense, although the defense was getting pressure, Caleb Williams did a good job getting the ball out.
And they're starting to build some cohesion now on the offensive line. Yeah. We saw Ozzie Trapillo. I wasn't here for day one on Tuesday. You were. But Ozzie Trapillo, the rookie out of Boston College, again with the number ones instead of Karan Amagaji. Does that surprise you?
So they're going to be taking turns. So day one, it was Karan Amagaji at left tackle. Day two, it's Ozzie Trapillo. And Ben Johnson addressed it, saying they're going to continue to take turns. It's really hard to tell with offensive and defensive line how good each player is going to be when you don't have pads on. So that really won't be able to get figured out until training camp. Now, he did say he loves the mental aspect of Ozzie Trapillo, that he's coming in as a rookie. He's a big guy. I made a comment that he's almost a half head taller than Joe Thuney standing next to him in the huddle.
Wow.
Like, that's how tall he is. I think it's
6'8", yeah.
Yeah, so he brings a ton of size, and they're working on his footwork right now. So Ben Johnson laid it out, and I thought, it's refreshing to hear like him just lay out point blank like how someone is going to win the job. He said the number one job of an offensive lineman is to block the pass rush. So the best pass rush blocker is going to win that job. So until training camp, they won't have that answer, but I think it's very telling that we're seeing Ozzie Trapillo already getting reps with the ones, meaning to me that they don't fully believe in Karan Amagaji to take over for Braxton Jones.
No, because he'd be getting all the reps right now.
And it is important to keep in mind, too, that we don't know what they think of Braxton Jones when he comes back. He can't be on the field right now, so that could also change when he's healthy.
How about Jaquan Brisker? I watched that guy, and I know yesterday he was giving it back and forth to the offense, and Cole Kmet and DJ Moore weren't happy about it, but you watch him out there. This guy's like a caged animal, man. Don't forget, he missed the final 12 games last year with a concussion, missed a couple of games his first 2 seasons with concussions, and he didn't get the extension that Kyler Gordon got, and he's up for the extension. So it's good to see Jaquan Brisker out there. Again, no hitting, no pads. So we really won't know if he can survive like he didn't the first 3 seasons without, suffering a concussion. We can only hope and pray, because I think he's such a talented member of that secondary at safety, and he did so much in limited time. I was looking back while we were on the sidelines, Cassie. I was looking back at his numbers and the amount of games he's played in 3 seasons. He's basically only played in half of the games and still put up great numbers. You look at it, 3 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 6 sacks in less than 3 years.
Well, I think the physicality comes at a cost, obviously, for Jaquan Brisker, and that's the risk you're taking with him being that tough safety, and it's what you ask for in the position. And it's why you are hopeful that he can stay on the field the entire season. Not only is he trying to get paid, we saw the drop-off the defense had when he wasn't on the field. And so he is a vital piece to this Bears defense. He was Ryan Pohl's second pick in the draft when he was in his first year. So I love Jaquan Brisker because although he can't hit, he's still talking the same, and that's so important at that position, just like being in receivers' ears. You know why the offense gets annoyed, because it's constant. And I actually laughed because he has this like celebration, and he explained it to me once and I can't really remember it. He said he did it back at Penn State. And then I saw another DB do it today. I think it was Nashawn Wright. I'm looking at number 25.
It was Nashawn Wright, yeah.
And I was like, oh, see, so the other DBs are picking up on Jaquan Brisker habits of taunting the offense, and I live for that with the DBs. And it's the best part about right now in minicamp and also in training camp, when you can stand and watch the entire practice and those 11-on-11 drills. They get pretty chirpy and they're really entertaining. I
don't want Tyrique Stevenson taunting anyone. Just go play the position. Yes. Hey, it's an important year for Tyrique Stevenson, too. And after what happened with Stevenson in Washington, and I don't want to talk about it anymore because we've beat it to death, and no one's learned from that experience more than Tyrique Stevenson, he needs to step up. He'll talk to the media today.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear what he's learned maybe over this offseason about the importance of the year he's going in, and also the relationship he's started to build with his DB's coach, Al Harris. When Al Harris was hired, the first thing that people started talking about is that this guy played the game at a very high level for a very long time, and he is going to be so critical to Tyrique Stevenson and holding him accountable and coaching him and showing him and teaching him how it's done. When I had a conversation with Al Harris, I asked him what stood out about Tyrique Stevenson. Obviously, he watched the tape, and he's no stranger to what happened against the Commanders, and he said he still remembers his top 30 visit to Dallas when he was coming out of Miami. And he said he was one of my favorite visits all time because the guy is authentic. And if Tyrique Stevenson can figure out how to be himself, but also rein it in on the field and translate it to PBUs, interceptions, pick sixes. Like, I think that is what Al Harris can maybe bring out of him the most. And, you know, there's a maturity factor to it too. Like, maybe Tyrique Stevenson, like, let's hope he learned his lesson and he's had time to move on from it. We all know he wants to move on from it. And this coaching staff, which we have seen already, is going to hold people accountable. Let's hope that that translates to Tyrique Stevenson and he absorbs all of that and understands the importance of his actions on the field.
We've seen his aggressiveness get the best of him at times out there on the football field, but don't forget he had a pretty good rookie season with 4 interceptions.
So Gervon Dexter, first I want to ask how you spend your off season. Ever since the season ends in January, what do those first couple months look like?
The first couple months is taking some time to recover, kind of get my body right, spend a little time with my kids, and just taking some time off, you know what I mean, and then again, almost get right back to it. So
yeah, how do you like listen to your body and know when's the right time to be like, all right, it's time to get back in football shape, knowing that you have a new head coach coming in?
Right. I mean, obviously, just like the circumstance that we're in now is a little different because we, you know, like you said, we got a new coaching staff. So I think this year is going to be a little more. We got a little more time. We get off a little earlier than we usually do. But so I think I'll just like you say, I'll listen to my body. I'm the type of guy that I don't like, you know what I mean, sitting around at all. So I'll always be doing something football related, even if you know what I mean, if it's like just sitting there stretching or something like that, it'll always be something football related. So
you were named multiple times by your teammates as a leader because you were the guy that texted everyone and got them down to Florida to start working out. And to hear that from someone like Grady Jarrett, I think we're all like, it was like a pleasant surprise to hear that you were the one to organize that. What was the genesis of trying to bring everyone together and go and work out together?
I think obviously, like as I've been only in the league so far, going on year 3, I've noticed that guys who kind of rush together outside of, you know what I mean, the facility, guys who hang out outside of the facility, those guys like on the field rushing together is you know what I mean, it's a second nature. So just being able to kind of, after Grady signed here, after saying that he was coming here, just trying to get the guys together early and hang out, just know the guy, learn the guy before you know what I mean, get in the building where we obviously now learning plays and bullets are flying, just try to get some of that stuff before we get in hand, just to hang out together as well. Was
that something you learned from being in the Bears locker room or just kind of studying maybe other teams and talking to guys around the league? Yeah,
I would say a little bit of both. Just like watching and then watching how guys rush, just like seeing other teams rush, like there's no way these guys don't hang out outside of, you know what I mean? So after seeing that and then feeling that, and then like even for me, I looked at it as like seeing Grady Jarrett, like I want to get some of that knowledge right away, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to wait till two more weeks to OTA start. I wanted to get some of that knowledge right away, so a little bit of that as well.
So what's the knowledge you instantly asked Grady Jarrett for?
Man, I'm still asking it, honestly, but
great resource.
You're right, 100%. Just some of the stuff. Grady has hit every, you know what I mean, goal that I have on my list so far, and he's still knocking them off as well. But just to see. Just to have a guy like that, not only in the locker room, but right beside me.
Come on in.
What you got for me, Reek? What you got?
You got to ask questions. It's not on, so you got to speak up. But yeah, just.
Tyrique Stevenson here. How y'all doing today?
No, it needs no introduction, right?
Right.
I just wanted to give Dex the platform to let y'all know what's going down this year with the Big 9-9.
Yeah, like Reek said, man, the rush and the coverage is married. So as long as we get the rush in, I know Reek could be covering picks, sacks, all of that gonna come with it. So.
And I'm throwing the pitch back. Gotta let him do the front flip in the end.
Come on, now.
Wait, come back. Oh no, now he's breaking stuff. You gotta ask a question in return.
Okay, here you go.
Year 3, man. We came in together, right? We had ups, downs, lots of fun stuff, lots of picks, lots of sacks. Give me 1 or 2 goals for this year. For Tyrique.
For Tyrique, I want to, for one, I want to be the best teammate I can. You know, I feel like with these group of guys, we understand the plan and we expect nothing but the utmost from everybody. So I feel like I got to hold my end on that. And then as far as I want to be the interception leader. You know, like he said. Coverage and rush is married, and I know he gonna rush, so I know I gotta cover.
Didn't Jalen Johnson, he put out a number for himself. He said like 7 interceptions. So
7 plus. Always shit. I'm aiming for 7.
Okay. Then.
Okay, it's inked. We
It's
love
in there.
that. All right, we got future broadcasters, right?
you
Hopefully
feel?
in like many, many years, right? You're gonna be in the league for a long time.
Right.
Grady Jarrett could also be a broadcaster. He's very
he can.
like he's
He's
very
well-spoken.
entertaining
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
very interesting to listen to.
100%.
What have been some of your favorite stories that you've heard from him?
I think with Grady is like I said, he's seen everything, obviously through experience, but him being like, we play the same position, we both play D tackle, so I think it's like, he just like, Grady is one of those guys, like even in practice, it's only practice right now, it was like, before the snap, you know what I mean, Grady already knows where the slide's going, Grady knows where the protection is, like he know, you know what I mean, he knows all that stuff, so to play with a guy that he's not guessing, he knows through experience, he knows through, so I can't wait. Yeah. I can go on and on.
Yeah, that's great. Montez Sweat made a comment that this defense, Tyrique Stevenson, is even bringing us water.
Man, he
what a
owned
gentleman.
it.
All
He
right.
owned it,
Teammate. We love it.
That's what we want.
It's
That's
noted. I'm like, there's a million things going on. Montez Sweat said this defense is more complex than it was the past staff that was here. Do you feel that way? How do you, as you're learning this, I don't want to say compare it, but he made it seem like it's just maybe harder for offenses to read. But
It is, yeah. So it's a variety of different things. It's not just like it's not simple at all. Like it's not like I think Coach Da he switches it up a lot. Like he's gonna throw different things at obviously the offense that they think they've seen, and it's not what they, you know what I mean, they thought. So it's definitely a lot different. And what comes with that is it's a tad bit harder to learn. But after you get it, after you know the exact reason why you're doing something.
the sack production, I know you were really happy with what you had produced in the beginning of the season. Now in your 3rd year, what have you learned about what it takes to have that consistency over the season?
Yeah, you just gotta stay consistent. You can't.
Is that easier said than done though?
It is, yeah. It is. I think for a guy like me, now in year 3, I've played enough ball to understand what it takes to and to just do it. Stop talking about it and just doing it. And so that's actually one of my goals for the year. Just stay consistent. Don't get complacent. And there's always, you know what I mean, there's always room for improvement no matter where you're at. I don't care if it was week 5 and I had 10 sacks. There's now go get 20. So I think that's really the goal for me, is just don't get complacent and stay consistent.
I was talking to you towards the end of last season. You were excited to go back down home to Florida, and you mentioned in this interview that you don't like sitting still, you're always busy. So you were looking for off-season hobbies.
Right.
You had not found one
I haven't.
when you were on the draft show. Have you found one yet?
I have. So I picked up on, I think we talked about already, was like just like ATVing. Obviously, I got my helmet on and my,
Cool.
you know what I mean, my stuff on. But as well as me and my wife started like pickleball. Yeah, so I picked up on pickleball. It's actually
you know about the rules, the kitchen? Can't step in the kitchen?
Can't step in the kitchen. Yeah, I learned. The way we play right now, beginners, we just hitting it back and forth, obviously. But yeah, I picked up on pickleball. So
I think I heard, I can't remember if it was an offensive lineman. Was it Tooney or Drew Dahlman? They also play pickleball.
Really? Yeah,
You can
we
get a
got
little
to run-
O-line,
yeah,
D-line
we got to run
going.
some ones for sure. If y'all see this, we got to run the one.
Gervon Dexter, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
The Offseason is now available on Spotify, Odyssey, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.